Okay, welcome to this demo game of Aliens vs. Predator. The hunt begins. Due to popular demand, I'm going to give a very simple tutorial, kind of demo game on basic gameplay of how this goes. We're going to do just a really simple scenario here. We've got the Marines, the aliens, the Predators over here. They're all going to be converging in the middle. And this is just going to show some very simple mechanics of the game. Combat, movement, running, actions. I wanted to show how each faction interacts with doors and each other. So that's what we're gonna have here for this first take. Hope you enjoy. Okay, just to keep this simple and straightforward, I'm giving each faction 3 wounds worth of models. So there's gonna be 3 Marines, 3 aliens, 1 single Predator, which has 3 wounds total. In no way, shape, or form am I claiming this to be fair or balanced. It's just a choice I made in order to show you guys how this game is going to play. Okay, the first phase of the game is the initiative phase, which each faction is going to roll a d20. The highest faction gets to choose whether they take the first turn or not. So let's go ahead and roll it. Let's see, the Marines get a 5, the aliens get an 8, and the Predator gets an 11. So the Predator will choose to take the first turn. Before I jump into that first turn, I'm just going to show deployment. So Marines always deploy in a room, and Marines always deploy first. The Predators always deploy in their Predator pod tiles, which are these 2 red and orange tiles. And the aliens always deploy in an infested tile. Now, depending on the scenario that you're playing, it might dictate which specific room or what tile, or they need to be a certain distance away from an objective. For this game, it doesn't matter because we're just setting up to, again, show basic mechanics, and we're basically just going to run in and kill each other. So the first thing that happens after the initiative roll is determined is the card and token refreshment phase. We don't have any tokens from a previous round since this is the first game turn. I'm going to skip the strategic cards this first game just for simple demo explanation, but I'll get into that into the next video when we have a little more in-depth detail. So the first thing that happens is we flip our environmental card, which this one is every model using any move action receives a strength 5 auto hit at the end of its activation. This is an inertial dampener failure. So this is going to last for the entire game turn. That's for all 3 factions, and every model that moves is going to take a strength 5 auto hit. Okay, with the cards taken care of, we're now going to move into the activation phase. Predators won the initiative, so they are going to go ahead and go first. Every model, as of the box set, has 2 action points, and that may change depending on future releases. Maybe a alien queen or something to represent a faster model will have multiple action points above the 2, so they can do more in a game turn to represent something special. So anyways, the Predator is going to use his first activation to move. He's going to do a run action, which costs both action points. So he's going to move 1, 2. And that's the end of his activation since he has used both action points. So we're going to place this little Predator activated token on top of his ping token. Speaking of ping tokens, it's important to note that in this game you don't deploy your miniatures to start. You actually use these ping tokens, which on the underside, or on the top side, it's the faction icon. This one is an alien. On the bottom side, it reveals a specific model that this token represents. For all intents and game purposes, this ping token represents that model. They have all the exact same rules, abilities that the model itself has, but it adds an extra layer of stealth and kind of tactical trickery, not knowing what your opponent might have where specifically. It's not going to play a huge role in this game because, again, it's very small, straightforward, and these tokens are going to get revealed pretty quickly, but in a larger game it could make a very large difference. Okay, so with the Predator having gone, it now moves to the aliens activation. We can look at any of these ping tokens at any time. You'll see that this one is different here. I will go ahead and activate this ping token, and he's also going to do a run action. And again, the reason that the aliens are moving next is because they rolled the second highest on this initiative roll. So this alien's going to go 1, 2 spaces, and that is his activation. So I'm going to put this activation token on him, and he is good to go. Okay, and with the alien model activated, we're now going to move on to the Marines, and big surprise of the day, we are also going to use a run action to move 2 spaces. And with that token being activated, we mark it with an activated token. Okay, that concludes the first activation phase out of these guys. So now the Predator has actually activated all of its models. So now we skip the Predator's turn since it has already activated all of its models, and we go back to the aliens since they are the second place initiative team and they still have models to move. So I'm just going to go ahead and run with everything for this first turn. So we'll activate there. Initiative passes to the Marine player, who will do a run action as well. So it activates the next model there, and back to the alien since the Predator again is already activated. Move the next alien here, activated there, and this last Marine will run again for two action points, and he is activated. Okay, so one thing I forgot already was the environmental factor that we had come in here, which was the inertial dampener failure. So every model that moved at the end of its activation was supposed to take a strength 5 auto hit. The way strength 5 works is you actually get a bonus to your armor since it's a very weak hit. So it's going to be fairly difficult for any of these models to fail. I'm going to go ahead and just retroactively do the saves right now since I forgot to do it at the end of each of these models' activations. So starting with the Predator, I roll a 1, which is a critical success. He actually, the only way he could fail this with a +5 to his armor is if I rolled a 20, which a 20 I believe always fails. So we'll need to double check the rules on that. So starting with the aliens, there's 2 alien stalkers there, which the alien infant, is a 13 base, so that gives him with +5 to that because of its only strength 5. An 18 or less is a success. So the first one is a 10, which is a success. Next one is also a 10, which is a success. Now the stalker, the one stalker that is there, is a 10 base, so +5 gives him a 15. I roll a 16, so an alien actually dies. So the stalker will die, which is this guy right here, due to the initial gravity failure. And now, because an alien has died, aliens have a special rule called acid blood. So basically now I roll a dice, and on a 1 to 5, an acid token is created, which is one of these guys, and somebody in the same space, friend or foe, gets sprayed with acid as an alien dies. But it's fairly unlikely since it's only a 25% chance. So this alien is unfortunately removed as a casualty because of the environmental factor, and no acid blood is created. So now we have the same thing for the Marines that we have to do. And the Marines are all a 13 armor save base, so again +5 because of its only strength 5 hit means that these guys are saving on 18 or less. First Marine is good. Second Marine fails with a 20, so a Marine is actually going to die. And the Marines are all identical on their ping tokens. You actually get to choose whatever models you haven't revealed yet to be the model revealed when you place a ping token. So one Marine is going to be dead, unfortunately, because of this. And we still have one more Marine to roll for, which is 19. So actually a second Marine dies here. These guys only have 1 wound each, so auto hits are kind of a big deal for these guys. And that's a heck of a way to start. Okay, so with that, that's the conclusion of the first game turn. So now we're going to start with initiative roll again. Starting with the Marines, they get a 1, Predators get a 20, and the aliens get an 11. So we have the same initiative order again: Predator, aliens, Marines. The first thing that happens, again, is token and card refresh. We have a new environmental card, which is all close combat tests in this game turn receive a +2 modifier to the test value. So close combat is going to get a bonus in this one, which we might get some combat, we'll see. So the first thing that happens after the environmental card is all the previous turn's activation tokens are removed. So again, the Predator is going to choose to activate first. With his first action point, I'm going to use an interact action. So an interact action allows you to activate a door or an objective. In this case, he's going to go ahead and open this door. Once the door is open, it's just simply removed from play. It's gone for the rest of the game. Marines have a special ability which can be quite useful, where they can actually create up to 3 doors throughout the course of a game. So it's possible for them to seal the bulkhead and create a door, allowing them to escape when maybe they're going to get killed by something else. So it's a cool little way for them to weld the crates together, very similar to Aliens, where the Marines are bunkering up. Second action point, the Predator is going to do not the smartest tactical move, but just for game purposes, he's going to do a move here and move out into the open. So we'll see what comes his way. And with that, the Predator is activated, so we're going to go ahead and put the activated token on him. Okay, so with the Predator model activated, the initiative passes to the Aliens, so we're going to go ahead and activate this one first. Now, Aliens can't just spend an interact action to open a door. They actually have to tear them open with claws and teeth and tails. So what I'm going to do is a special alien action, which is called Force the Doors Open. So basically, I need to roll a d20, and because Aliens are all on a small base, which is a 30mm base, I need to roll a 5 or less. Now, Aliens also have a special rule called assisting and force the door open. So if there's anyone on this side of the door or the other side of the door, any adjacent space to the tile with the door on, you get a +1 for whatever models are on there. So even though this guy is not activating, and this one is here, I get a +1 because he's got a friend there to potentially help him. So instead of a 5 or less, I actually need a 6 or less. So still not terribly likely that it'll happen, but we'll see. I get a 1, and this door is forced open, and it goes away. So that's the first action point that is spent for that. That's a basic action, only costs 1 point. Got a lucky roll in there. And now we're going to see something interesting here, where the alien's going to move, and we're going to reveal some ping tokens. Okay, so with that said, this alien is going to go ahead and move, and these ping tokens are going to reveal themselves at the same time. So what we have here is the Predator with a smart disk. So we go ahead and replace the ping token with the model, and here we have an alien infant. So we're going to replace that ping token with the corresponding model. And that is his second action. I'm going to keep the activated token on the Predator since he's already activated. Again, the ping tokens they count exactly the same as the model, so there's no difference. If a ping token's already activated, the model's already activated, vice versa. That was the second action point for the alien to move in there and reveal. So he is going to go ahead and I'm going to put the activated token on him as well. That being done, the initiative is now going to pass to the Marine player. Okay, so with the Marine player's turn now, I could do some things where I could put a model on Sentry to see what happens in the rest of the game. Predator's already activated. The furthest away alien's also already activated. So I think that what I'm going to do here is just go ahead and use my first action point to interact with the door, which opens the door. Once the line of sight is drawn between a ping token and a model, both of these models now have line of sight to the Marine ping token, so that's going to reveal the ping token, which again, Marines can replace it with any model that they want that they have not already placed. So I'm going to choose to put a smart gunner down here, who's now spent 1 action point because of opening the door. So with his second action point, I'm going to make a ranged attack, and I'm going to try and shoot the Predator, because the Predator is definitely the bigger threat out of these 2 models on the table here. To make a ranged attack, I'm going to look at the stat of the Colonial Marines smart gun, which is a strength 14 ROA, which is rate of fire of 3. So what I'm going to do is I can declare either target of these. Neither of these tiles are engaged or anything like that, so there's actually no modifier. There's no range is unlimited for your basic shooting weapons. Certain weapons, like the Predator's smart disc, actually does have a range specific limit. Shotguns, similar in their abilities to attack at range, but your general guns, smart guns, pulse rifles, things like that, the range is unlimited. So I'm going to roll 3 dice for the rate of fire of 3. And the Marine has a range skill of 14, so basically 14 or less is going to be a hit here. Which I have a 4, which is going to be a hit, a 6, oops, which I just knocked, a 6, and a 19. So the 19's a miss, but the smart gun has a special ability, which is a passive ability called guided fire. So it allows me to reroll any failed ranged attacks. So we get a free reroll on that, which is an 18, which unfortunately is also a miss, but that means we have 2 hits. Okay, so we have 2 hits against the Predator model there, which if we look at the card, I'm not sure if the focus will work on this or not. The Predator has an armor of 15 with an impenetrable value of 12. So the strength of the smart gun is 14, so that's a -4 modifier. So it would take the Predator's 15 down to an 11, but because the Predator armor has an impenetrable value, it can never be less than 12. So I'm going to make 2 armor saves, and basically I need 12s or less on these 2 dice. So I get a 1 and a 2, so it's pretty amazing roll there, and the Predator completely shrugs off that round of fire from the Marine, and that being the second action point for that Marine is going to end his activation. So we'll put the activated token next to him. The Marine's activation finished. The last remaining alien who is not activated gets to activate now, and he is going to just go ahead and join his friend. He's going to move for 1, and then he's going to use a pass action as his second action. He's going to see safety in numbers here, but as soon as he is in line of sight to any of these models, he's revealed, which again will replace him with the corresponding model to the ping token, which is another infant warrior, and that is his second action with the pass, so that's going to be the end of his turn. Okay, now this is where the game gets a little interesting, because while the Predator has got the initiative 2 turns in a row, we're going to roll for initiative again here, and there's no guarantee that the Predator's going to go first, or the aliens will go first, and the Marines. No one knows. So we're going to start with a new initiative turn. A new initiative roll for the new turn. So first we're going to start with the Marine, who gets a 1. Tough break for the Marines thus far. Predator gets a 2. Not looking much better for them. So the aliens have a pretty good chance of going first here with a 10. And that is going to give the aliens initiative. So what we're going to do is now is the card and token refresh phase. So we're going to remove all the activated tokens from all of these models. And we're going to draw a new environmental card, which says it's all quiet. There's no special environmental effects this game turn. So nothing happens environmentally that we have to worry about. Last turn there was no combat since we're still a little bit too far away for ranged, or close combat. So with that being said, the aliens are going to go first, then the Predator, then the Marine. Okay, so it's worth noting here that both of these alien infants do have an ability called Improved Hide, which if they start on an infested tile at the beginning of a game turn, they get a hide token for free. They don't have to spend an action to do this. What a hide token does is it makes it a -10 ranged modifier for them to be shot at in that turn. If they move or do anything, they're going to lose that hide token. But right now, if they don't move, they're going to be completely safe, or very safe, from the Marine's ranged weapon. It's also worth noting that the aliens have a special tile bonus, which is -4 to your ranged skill while you're shooting at the aliens if they're within an infested tile. And the idea behind that is that they blend in with the surroundings, the infested silicone surroundings, so they're camouflaged. So right now, with them being in an infested tile and in hide, they're actually -14 to be hit. So it's very difficult to shoot at an alien when they're in hide on an infested tile. One thing I actually made a slight error on is that the hide overrides the -4 range skill bonus that being in an infested tile gives you. They actually don't stack. You either get the -10 or the -4. -10 when you're hiding, -4 if you're not hiding. Okay, so with the aliens activations, we're going to go ahead and activate them. And for, again, purposes of this short little demo, I'm going to show you some close combat. So the first one is going to activate here. He's going to move, so it's going to automatically lose his hide status. And he's going to do a run action, which will take him 2 spaces into here. Because he's used both of his action points to get into that space with a run, he is activated and cannot move or attack this turn. So with that, we go to the Predator, who has 2 action points and an enemy model on his tile here. The alien doesn't have any bonuses for close combat, because the tile that only is the infested tiles against shooting attacks. So we'll go ahead and make the first attack with the Predator on close combat against that alien. So the first attack is going to be the Predator against the infant alien here. He gets to use his smart disc as both a melee weapon and a ranged weapon, and you can do both in the same turn, which is pretty neat. It's a very, very powerful weapon. So in combat, the smart disc has a rate of fire of 3. That's basically how many attacks he's going to get. So I'm going to roll these. He has a close combat skill of 17, so 17 or less are hits on these, which is very likely he's going to hit with most of them. So we get a 7, a 9, and a 17, so he actually gets all 3 hits there. And with the smart disc is a strength 15 weapon, so against that infant who has a base armor of 13, we're at a -5, so he actually needs 8 or less to make these saves. So the infant's going to make 3 armor saves here, needing 8 or less. So you got a save, a save, and a save. He actually saves all 3 there with a 4, a 5, and a 7. So he's just able to pull it off, and the infant stays alive from that first attack. The Predator has made a close combat attack, so he cannot make another one, because you can never do the same action twice in a turn. So with his second action point, he's actually going to throw his disc. And the bigger threat between the Marine and the Predator outside of combat here is going to be the Marine. He could actually even throw his disc at the alien right in front of him, but I think the Marine with a smart gun is going to be a bigger threat here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So the smart disc works a little bit differently than your standard ranged weapons. Unlike the Marine's smart gun, it doesn't have unlimited range as long as it's in a straight line. He actually has a maximum range of 2 tiles. So you get to target a tile 2 tiles away. So in this case, we're going to go 1, 2. We're going to target the Marine there. And you get 2 dice against all the models in any of those 2 tiles. And you basically get to see how many hits you get. Had there been multiple models in here or multiple models in here, I get to roll attack dice against both and then choose which ones get hit by the smart disc. In this case, I'm going to roll to see just against the Marine, since that's the only model present. I need a 10 or a less. So here I get a 2, which is going to be a success, and a 20, which is a failure. This doesn't count as a critical failure because it's not actually a skill test. It's just seeing if it hits or not. So the 2 is going to be a hit. A model can only be hit by a smart disc once anyway, so even if I had rolled 2 hits, he would not have been hit twice. He can only be hit a maximum of 1 time. So what happens with a smart disc is it's an automatic hit and you're not allowed to take an armor save against, so that Marine is going to be dead. So unfortunately the poor Marine is not allowed to make his armor save, which is going to remove him from play, killing him and eliminating the Marine force. That is the Predator's second action though, so he did his close combat attack first, and then he did a ranged attack with the smart disc for his second action, so that ends the Predator's activation. Now, the Marines get a bonus against close combat attacks, which is representing them diving behind the crates and cover and things like that, but unfortunately the smart disc ignores range penalties. So as of right now, we'll see if there's an FAQ or something that changes it, but even this guy in super hide mode over here with his -14 would still potentially be hit on a 1 to 10, which makes the smart disc a very powerful weapon. Okay, so the last alien here gets to go next since everybody else has activated, since the Marine was unfortunately killed before he got to activate. Again, that shows you how initiative, with the changing initiative, can really mess up your plans. You can set something up and potentially fail if you get wiped off the board before you're able to go. So anyways, this last alien here is going to activate, and he's going to just do a run move to run in here, help his friend out, and hopefully the aliens will get initiative again this turn and be able to attack before the Predator. That's his second action point, because running is 2 points again. So that's going to end the turn and end the alien activation. Okay, so with that being done, we're going to roll for initiative. Starting with the Predator is an 8, and the aliens are also an 8. You reroll in the case of ties. So Predator again is a 5, and the aliens are an 8. So the aliens are able to get the initiative. The only restriction with this is that the last model that activated cannot be the first model to activate in the next turn. If you only have the one model, I'm not sure if that means you have to pass the activation on to the other team, or if that is the exception to the rule. Doesn't matter in this case, since this was the last model to activate. It just means we have to activate this model first here. So with initiative figured out, now we flip our card for our next environmental factor, which is automated bulkhead closure. Player with the initiative must place a one door tile on an interlock of any two unengaged tiles. So we have two doors that get created. Player with the initiative must place a one door tile on an interlock of any two unengaged tiles. So we have one door being placed. And we will just go ahead and shut the door over here because it's not going to matter for this part of the game. The Marines are dead, the automatic security kicks in, and it shuts the door to that room. And we're going to go ahead and refresh the tokens, which means remove previous turn's activation tokens. And we're going to square off for some combat. Okay, so next up we're going to activate this model as the first model to activate, because again this one cannot be since he was the last one to activate in the previous turn. And the alien is going to attack the Predator in combat with claws and teeth. And he has a rate of fire of 2 with that, so he gets 2 attack dice. And he has a close combat skill of 15, so 15 or less will be hits on these. Fairly likely. Unfortunately, I roll an 18 and a 19, so both of these hits miss. And that is his first action point. He cannot attack again because of you can only use the same action once. So what he's going to do is move away, and in order to do that, I need to make a disengagement roll. Okay, to make a disengagement roll, it's actually quite simple. You just make a single close combat skill test. Which with the alien infant is a 15. So on a 15 or less, I'm able to successfully move away one tile, and that uses an action point. If I fail, I actually lose the action point, and I'm stuck here. It means I'm locked in combat. Let's see if I can pass this roll. Even though I failed the other two, I get a 20. So not this guy's luck. So he's unfortunately stuck in combat, and that was his second point of action. So he is activated, and that's going to end his turn. And now it goes on over to the Predator, so this is not looking good for the aliens. Okay, so the Predator has 2 action points and a smart disc, so he's going to use that wisely. The first thing he's going to do is throw the smart disc. Now again, he can throw it up to 2 tiles away, but I can target a tile here, and I can even target the tile that I'm on. So in this case, he's going to target this tile, and it's going to hit both of these tiles. So these two guys are potentially going to get hit by a ranged attack, and whichever ones survive will potentially get hit by a combat attack. So first we make the smart disc ranged attack, which again is a 10 or less. So we get one of these is a 1. I get a 1 and a 19. So 1 is a success, 1 is a failure. So I'm going to put the success on the guy who has not attacked yet. And that again is an auto hit that doesn't allow armor saves. So that is going to kill this alien since he only has 1 wound. Again, the smart disc is a very powerful weapon. So we're going to roll for the acid blood since an alien has died. And then 1 to 5, we get acid blood. I roll an 11, so we have no acid blood here. And that is the end of the smart disc ranged attack. Now the Predator can try to make a combat attack, which again, he has a rate of fire of 3 in combat and a close combat skill of 17. So this alien is fairly likely to get hosed here. So you get a 1, which is a critical, a 7, which is a hit, and an 18, which is a failure. So the 18 goes away. The 1 is a power shot, and a power shot is a critical hit, essentially. So with that critical hit, the alien it's automatically hit, and it's not allowed to make an armor save. So again, with only 1 wound, it is going to kill this alien. And I'll roll for acid blood here, just to see if we get some, which I get an 11 again. So no acid blood, and the aliens are wiped out, and the Predator is the lone survivor. So as you can see, Predators are tough as nails. The smart disc is very powerful, but that's some just general basic overview gameplay. Again, I did not do this for tactical depth or strategy. I just wanted to show off the basic mechanics of the game. So that's how it plays. And we'll turn the Predator here, victorious, and he will do what Predators do best and turn back into a ping token and slink away. And that's that. Hope you guys liked it. Hope it helped. Feel free to ask any questions, and I will try to explain things further. I'll come back next time with an actual game with a couple opponent players and show you how it works when you have tactics and strategy and real objectives versus just kill them all. This game is definitely not designed to be a head-to-head game, at least in the board game incarnation. It's really designed to... each faction wants to play to the mission that they have. Otherwise, in a head-to-head game, the Predators, I think, have the advantage, as they're designed to do exactly that. They're designed to hunt and kill and sneak, and very, very adept at killing other models in this game. So the Marines need to be very smart about their tactics sticking together. Aliens want to really take advantage of their hiding and wait till the situation is in their favor for their strike. So, again, not an all-out head-to-head kind of war game. At least in the hunt begins. We'll see when the actual war game rules come out how that changes.